Hello, I am back. Yesterday's show I did quite a lot of talking about doing, so I thought that maybe we should do some doing. To do, very important to do in the Gurdjieff work. It's what we're aiming to do, is to do it. So I shall start with some quotes, starting from All and Everything, page 392, or in the third book, page 1202. Man is a being who can do, and to do means to act consciously and by one's own initiative. And that's what we're trying to do, of the old waking up, so that we are conscious enough to be able to make our own decisions and to be aware of what we're doing, and to be awake enough to know that what we're doing is the right thing, rather than just going along with everything, like what I was saying in yesterday's show about being a mechanical automaton. We don't want to be. We want to be real people. So a little bit of repetitiveness there. Ouspensky talks about crossroads. And crossroads are moments when one can do. A moment comes when one can help in the work or not. If an opportunity comes and one misses it, another may not come for a year perhaps, or even longer, if one does not arrange to use organised work, which may make permanent difficulties. And I was saying yesterday about how I have a book angel. Books seem to appear when I need them, and you might have things that happen to you. But Ouspensky is also saying them chances and opportunities, we've got to grab them when they come along, because they're there for us. If you've been working, if you've been doing the work, the laws will start putting into your path ways to continue, to encourage you to continue. And sometimes we come to crossroads, and at them crossroads will be opportunities to go left or right. And hopefully we want to go right, follow down the right-hand path, not the left-hand path. But sometimes we differ, like I did then. I differed about my words. We differ about what to do. Is it the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? And we have to follow our conscience then, because our conscience, that spark of God that's within us, will guide us on the right path. And Ouspensky also says we can neither say nor do anything that does not correspond to some inscription on the rolls. Now, what are the rolls? And he's talking here about rolls of writing, I suppose, or rolls of instruction. And Gurdjieff talks a lot about epheograms. In Beelzebub's Towers, the epheogram comes with a message, kind of like, we get texts today or emails, but it's in the a different way of coming. But it's an epheogram that gives us a message. But an epheogram is also the role of your life. Everything's being recorded in your life. Everything's being written down and kept for when we depart from this world. We then get read back our epheogram to show what we've been doing in our life. So we want to try and put into our epheograms good intentions and doing the work. But we can also get guidance from other epheograms and other messages and other roles. As I've said before, the books of the core. Go to the books and read them. I know they're becoming translated in different languages nowadays, not all languages yet, but it's happening. Or if you know someone that's a translator and you're struggling with an English version, maybe you can go and look for someone to help you put it into your language. Though again, it would be nice if it was someone that was a Gurdjieff person that could help you with that, because then they'd understand what Gurdjieff's saying in his writings. I would get a right translation across. So Gurdjieff says in All and Everything, page 332, rationally directing the automatic psychic functioning of his common presence. Now that's doing. We're rationally directing the automatic psychic functioning of his common presence. And our psychic function of our common presence, the automatic one, is when we're being asleep, but we're trying to wake up. So we're observing it, we're observing what's happening, we're trying to break them patterns of how we are when we're an automaton, so that we become more of a real person. And he goes on to say on page 1202, I've done that, but I'm going to do it again because it's important. Man is a being who can do, and to do means to act consciously and by one's own initiative. And on page 1204, a couple of pages later, In the presences of average people, what they call will is exclusively only the resultant of desires. And that's everyday will. You know, we will to meet Mr. Right or Mrs. Right or whatever. So we go out to the pub to go fishing for a companion. We will to get that job. So we go forward to that interview fully willing that we're going to win that position. Real will is a sign of a very high degree of being in comparison with the being of an ordinary man. But only those people who possess such being can do. All other people are simply automatons, machines or mechanical toys set in motion by external forces, acting just in so far as the spring placed in them by surrounding accidental conditions acts. And this spring can neither be lengthened nor shortened, nor changed in any way on its own initiative. We have to put work towards it to change that spring so that we're not just following our automaton way of life. We want to put effort into what we're doing. I've done shows on effort, and to do takes effort. Views from the real world, page 57. In order to do, it is necessary to know, but in order to know, it is necessary to find out how to know. Possible only by finding a guide with experience and knowledge who will take on his spiritual guidance and become his teacher. You know, if you can find a teacher, that's great. You know, I wish you all well on finding that and finding a really good teacher. You know, it'd be great if we could find some more teachers out there. At the moment, it's kind of difficult with all that's been going on with the last year, 2020. We're now in 2021, so hopefully schools are opening up, groups are re-meeting. Hopefully more teachers are coming forward who might have been in isolation during the lockdowns, and hopefully they're coming forward to help the rest of us that need some guidance. But at the same time, as I've said before on many shows, can't find a teacher, read the books. That's the core material. Views from the real world, page 69. Man is the being who can do. To do means to act consciously and according to one's will. Man is he who can do, but among ordinary men, as well as among those who are considered extraordinary. There is no one who can do. In their case, everything from beginning to end is done. There is nothing they can do. So I read this quote yesterday, and then when I went back to the book, I found these extra bits. To do means to act consciously and according to one's will. Man is he who can do among ordinary people. And Gurdjieff said he brought this teaching to help us live in the ordinary world, in the lunatic asylum. You know, we don't need to go off to retreat, become a monk or whatever. We can do this work in our lives now, in our countries, in our cities, towns, countries, wherever you live. This work can be implemented. You can make it work with yourself. You can do as you're going about your daily routine, but more in a more awake way of going about your daily routine, rather than a sleeping automaton where you're just going along following the routine. Instead, if you do it consciously, there's a whole new energy being created in you, and that will help you work more on yourself, and also helps his endlessness, which is what we're here to do as well, to rejoin in with the endlessness, to be part of all the harmonious mechanical goings on in the universe, and to keep the universe working and going along smoothly rather than wrongly. So it says again on page 70, views from the real world, in order to do, a very high degree of being and of knowledge is necessary. And we're doing this work, so we're developing our being. And as we develop our being, we'll be able to do more and more. And with the knowledge, as I've said in past shows, we gather knowledge, bring it to us, and we have to turn it into wisdom. We have to use it wisely. It's no good just collecting knowledge and being a know-all. You've got to know how to use it, how to do the wisdom. Man must realise that he cannot do. All our activities are set in motion by external impetus. So it's the outside world is affecting us and making us just be asleep, you know, following along the routine, being the puppet that I mentioned yesterday. We don't want to be puppets. We want to be us, the real person that we are. So even though external influences are happening on us, we need to make them internal influences work out so that we can, I'm not saying work necessarily against external influences, but work with them so that we can help ourselves develop and do the harmonious work that the universe wants us to do. So views from the real world, page 197. In accordance with the laws, you can follow either the law of evolution or the law of involution. You must put the outside law inside. And the involution law is coming down from the divine. The evolution is what we're giving out. In our system, we are similar to God, threefold. If we consciously receive free matters and send them out, we can construct outside what we like. So this is doing. This is creation. When they are received through us, it is the creation of the Creator. In this case, all three forces manifest through us and blend outside. Every creation can be either subjective or objective. So we can use it for ourselves or we can use it for the whole universe. And I've said before about how people that are working on themselves, we seem to project. We've got to project it out, but it's got to be good vibrations. And that helps create your magnetic center as well, which will bring the right laws to you and hopefully goodness and knowledge and help you develop your being. You know, it's all constant work, but work for a good thing. You want to do this. You've got to do this because you want to, you need to, you wish to do this. Don't just do this because you think, oh, this will get me out of, I don't know, whatever you're looking for. You're doing this because you want to develop. So page 222 of Views from the Real World. The power of changing oneself lies not in the mind, but in the body and the feelings. Unfortunately, however, our body and our feelings are so constituted that they don't care a jot about anything so long as they are happy. That's Kundabuffer effects. They live for the moment and their memory is short. The mind alone lives for tomorrow. Each has its own merits. The merit of the mind is that it looks ahead, but it is only the other two that can do. So the mind's kind of kicking the other two centers into into working, to doing the effort to do. And right then, man's chief delusion is his conviction that he can do. So when we start doing this work, we think, oh, this is easy, we can do this. We easily forget it as well, and suddenly we're not doing it, or we pretend we're doing it, we imagine we're doing it. We've actually got to do it. So man's chief delusion is conviction that he can do. All that befalls a man, all that is done by him, all that comes from him, all this happens. So that's from In Search of the Miraculous, page 21. And on page 22, in order to do, it is necessary to be. Very important. I'm trying to remember, what is it? Homer says to do, Nietzsche says to be, and Frank says dooby dooby doo. Search of the Miraculous, page 133. Control over things begins with control over ourselves. And that's again doing the work on ourselves, making the effort, being aware of what we're doing, waking up, self-observing, self-remembering, and being aware of what it is we're doing as we're working with ourselves. You know, I've said before about doing the exercises of perhaps relaxing the body, relax every muscle, perhaps do a sitting exercise in the morning so you start every day off doing something with yourself so that you're prepared to do throughout the day. So again, it's easy to forget ourselves as we're going along, but then hopefully we will come back to ourselves and suddenly remember what we're here for. So In Search of the Miraculous, page 133. Octaves can develop consecutively and continuously in the desired direction if additional shocks enter them at the moments necessary. There remains for man the choice of going where the wind blows, or he can learn to recognize the moments of intervals in all lines of his activity and learn how to create the additional shocks, learn to apply to his own activities the method of which cosmic forces make use. In order to do, it is necessary to know the law of octaves, the moments of the intervals, and be able to create necessary additional shocks. I did a show with Josh on the Enneagram. I think I've called it 142857, the Enneagram with Joshua Denny, but you'll find it in the video section. I might try and remember to stick it at the end of this show. And I find it quite interesting that Ouspensky uses the older, just go with the wind, go with the flow, is what we do when we're asleep. We just go along with it all. And we're trying to not go along with it all and do what we need to do. I think it was Gurdjieff's grandmother said to Gurdjieff, don't copy others, do what you want to do. Even though I know we're copying Gurdjieff here doing this work, but he's given us this work to develop ourselves. And then we take it off and continue working on ourselves in our way, hopefully crystallizing ourselves in the correct way so that we become higher being bodies. And in Search for the Miraculous, Ouspensky adds, doing is magic and can be of only one kind. I know they say there's many paths to God, many roads to Rome, but doing the Gurdjieff work, maybe there is only one way to do it, and that's by doing effort. So back to lovely Knott, Mr. Knott, page 66. There are two kinds of doing, mechanical, automatic doing, and doing according to your real wish. Take some small thing which you are not able to do, but which you wish to do. Make this your God. Let nothing interfere. Only strive to fulfill your wish. If you wish, you can. With conscious wish, everything comes. And Gurdjieff used to say about this all the time. We need to wish, 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 wish. Make that our aim and do it. It will come if we really wish it. If we've got the will to do it. That's what all magic is. Magic is about the will, developing the will. And I shall bring Aleister Crowley in now. And he says, do what they will shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. And many people mistake that for old Crowley saying to us, we can just do anything, it doesn't matter. He's not actually saying that. He's actually saying, develop your will. He says even, love is the law, love under will. So love is a law. It's an important law. But to really understand love, we've got to develop our will. Will is the thing that makes us do. So this is from this is from Knott, and he's talking about Belkul Tassi, who's one of the characters from Gurdjieff's books, from All and Everything. Belkul Tassi, reviewing his life impartially, discovered that there was no correspondence between what he had wished to do and what he had done. Quite an important chapter about Belkul. Well, they're all important chapters, but to do with doing, you need to read the Belkul Tassi chapter. So Belkul Tassi, reviewing his life impartially, discovered that there was no correspondence between what he had wished to do and what he had done. There was always a contradiction between his wishes and his theories and his actual doing. And that's what I think I was trying to say just now about, we've got to really wish to do it. And we're easily led astray, easily end up doing something different, easily find that we're doing totally contrary to what we want to do, or to do in the work as well, and not just in everyday life. We don't want to be going where the wind blows. And this is a question from the Ouspensky's books of records of meetings. If you know how to manage one of your affairs well, the others could go well even automatically. There is not only one aspect. In reality, there are 7 aspects. Law of 7, 7 in everything. But if you neglect a single one of these aspects, the result will be bad, even though you may have engaged in this business all your life. While you are fulfilling your obligations, nothing else must matter. Nothing else must matter. As Vivekananda says, Swami Vivekananda, find God, nothing else matters. And this is kind of what this work is. If you make a practice of doing well the things of the present, you will learn how to do all things well. You are here now. Sacrifice everything else. All your presence, all your faults need to be brought to bear upon the affair of the moment. What do you want to do? This is a question only you can answer. Only you can decide it. even though it's nice to have a teacher to guide you, you've got to want to do it yourself. Not because a teacher's told you to do it, not because Gurdjieff's told you to do it. You've got to want to do it. It's all about what you can do. So wishing you all luck with doing things. Let's go forward and do the do. And I shall see you again soon. Thank you very much for watching.